When does my business tell me that I can actually buy a laptop? This question and other business spending questions were answered for me in the book Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. This is a book review about a book that has completely changed the way in which I run my business. It's time to be an authentic leader. Until I read the book Profit First, I never really had confidence in some of the business spending decisions that I was making. I didn't know how much I should, first off, be even paying myself. How much should I be spending in and on my business? I generally knew how much to put away for taxes, but I didn't have any answers to any of the other questions. This really came to a head for me when my old laptop was on its last leg. It was ready to die. Fortunately for me, I had just landed my largest client ever. I had really a large income coming in at the same time. So I felt pretty confident to go ahead and buy this new laptop. But when I did do that, I didn't really know how to divide up the rest of the money. What was the responsible way to handle this big influx of income coming into my business? Things happen at the right time. I listen to a lot of podcasts. If you know me for any period of time, you know that I'm addicted to podcasts. I was listening to podcasts. I listen to lots of them, and I keep hearing numerous people talking about the book Profit First. I first came across it in Jeff Brown's podcast, Read to Lead. If you've not listened to that podcast, that's a must listen to. And then I heard it again on Ray Edwards' podcast called The Ray Edwards Show. Both of those, they interviewed Mike, and the content was so rich, I had to go out and get the book. Now I'm at a point where I recommend this book to just about everybody I come in contact with. I felt also a need to, let's create a video about this so that I can better share the value that I've gotten from this book and why I believe you should not only buy the book, but also implement Profit First into your business. Once I picked up this book and started reading it, I simply could not put it down. Even in the intro of the book, Mike starts dropping value bombs. I had never really thought about the definition of what a small business is, and he goes on to explain how the Small Business Administration defines businesses, and it is a wide range. So I am a small business, but I am nothing compared to other larger small businesses, if you will. He also goes on to explain the commonly accepted formula for profit in businesses. And you probably have thought of this too. It's a simple formula that basically says you have sales coming in, and then you subtract expenses from that, which is a whole variety of things. And then what's left over is profit. And a lot of businesses, especially small businesses, never get to the point where there's leftover and now you have profit. He goes on in the book to really reveal some of the myths behind what we talk about when we say making money versus making a profit. He introduces the concept of baking profit into every transaction that you have in your business. Not just some, not just ones that define a certain criteria, but every transaction, baking profit into it. And it really described me to a T, because at that point in my business, I was simply looking at my single business banking account. I would look at my balance and make a gut decision about anything I would spend money on in my business. Mike later goes on to explain the core principles of the book. And in this, he really does a great job connecting what's called the Parkinson's Law to the foundational principles in the book. Parkinson's Law, if you're not familiar with it, it basically says that any amount of time or space that you give to something automatically is filled with whatever you put into that space. So this is where Mike talks specifically about why the order in which you think about your business finances is so important. It's put profit first. The 5 accounts literally are, number one, it's income. Obviously, you have income coming into your business. This is a single account where all of the income goes into, and it goes into that one account. Next is profit, because we're talking about profit first. After income is first profit. This is the first account that's filled, and it's based on a percent of the income that you have sitting in your income account. Next is owner's compensation. This is a separate account that's put aside that will ultimately be used to pay me, right? This is my salary or the compensation that I receive by working in my business. Next, of course, is tax. This is where you pull from to pay your quarterly taxes. And then lastly, it's operating expenses. This is where you pull from to spend in and on your business. So Mike goes into full detail about how to handle each one of these accounts. Later is where the real answers come in for how to implement Profit First, because I'm here to tell you, I am no Microsoft. I am no Amazon. Heck, I'm not even a Bill's Donut Shop. So Mike goes on to explain the target allocations and how they're really completely dependent on the amount of revenue you currently have in your business. Now, it can be really hard to jump right in if you've not implemented Profit First. So Mike even provides a plan for how to ultimately graduate to a Profit First type of business. So even if your business is brand new, or if you're a multi-million-dollar business, there are percent allocations that adjust, all dependent on your level of current revenue, which is different, of course, for a small business compared to a very, very large business. And really then goes on to explain how to put Profit First into action is what the rest of the book actually does. I now look at my business entirely differently than I ever did before I implemented Profit First. I implemented this in the winter of 2018, so it's still relatively new, but I've already almost immediately had the benefits of implementing Profit First. So when I need to spend money on my business, I have confidence. I just simply look at my operating expenses, see how much money I have sitting there, and I can make a business decision to know how much should I be able to spend on that. Do I have the money, basically, bottom line. When I pay myself each month, I feel good knowing I've got money allocated, set aside, ready for me to pay. I know that money is sitting there ready to pay me on a set interval. When I pay my taxes each quarter, I even feel good about paying taxes because, again, that money is sitting there ready for me to spend, and I have no sweat about doing that because I've been planning for and working toward that all along. I even feel good about once a quarter withdrawing profit and then deciding I can spend that on anything I want because it's profit, and that's what profit is for, is to enjoy your business, and that's what I'm able to do once a quarter when I make that withdrawal. This book and this system for Profit First does not replace the need to work with either a bookkeeper or even an accountant. As a matter of fact, this book will only enhance the experience that you have working with bookkeepers and accountants. So do you wish that you had a better system to know your business's financial health today? Profit First, I would say, is your answer to that. It definitely has helped me a lot. Have you read Profit First? Have you implemented Profit First? I'd love to know, how has it changed the way that you think about your business and even make business decisions? Hey, help us out, would you? If this content and this video connected with you in any way, let us know in the comments. We'd love to know what you think. Also, if you could please like and then also share this video with others. This is a video I think that will help multiple other people to maybe make a decision about how they might run their business better. Click on the subscribe button inside this YouTube channel so that you can be notified when new videos are published. And then also click on the next video so you can watch the next authentic video.